And
Bloody
it says we're live.
It lies.
Yeah.
And that's why I know it takes 1 minute and 21 seconds to cut my fingernails.
Hey, Steph.
How many we got on board?
Good
God,
8
people.
already.
Good God.
Since we have been duly counseled about our rants.
Yeah, apparently our rants are depressing and or increasing anxiety in some of our listeners.
So we'll start off with something funny.
Uh-oh.
Perusing the local rag this morning,
Oh, God.
one of our local miscreants apparently had had enough with the bed bugs in the hotel he was staying in, so he set his bed on fire.
Yeah, he went in and set the bed on fire inside the room.
How's that joke go? You shave one side of your
stab
balls,
them as they go across.
and then light the other side on fire and stab them as they come across. Yeah.
And Jesse goes, beg to differ, the rants are some of the best part. Yeah. So I do have to go to one thing here that's kind of got my attention this morning, and that is the CDC changing the definition of vaccine.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yes.
if you can't clear the hurdle, dig a hole underneath it.
Oh, wow.
The old definition of vaccine was a substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases prepared from the causative agent of a disease, its product, or a synthetic substitute treated to act as an antigen without introducing the disease.
Right.
Yeah, not so much. The new...
Except the first vaccines wouldn't have met that standard because
irregardless.
Yeah.
So now the new term is, according to CDC, a preparation that is used to stimulate the body's immune response against diseases. Immune response. Nothing about providing immunity.
Oh, wow.
The vaccination is the art of introducing into the body to provide protection from a specific disease.
Not immunity.
Not immunity.
Oh, wow.
Now, the interesting part is, guess who changed their definition yesterday?
CDC?
Merriam-Webster.
Oh, wow. That was quick.
Now matches the CDC definitions.
When did the CDC change their definition?
Apparently earlier this week.
Okay. I was going to say it would have been funny if Miriam had changed the definition and the CDC said, oops.
No, the other way around.
Oh, wow. That was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
wasn't it though?
The first vaccines were generally weakened forms of that.
Yeah, live virus.
Yeah, it's a live virus.
Yeah. Well, they were weakened forms. So
well, no, actually, technically, the first one was the cowpox.
The cowpox, but they were
which wasn't smallpox.
But the polio one was a weakened form of polio, and they wouldn't have met the first definition.
Yeah.
It would screw up the last part of it.
Of course, that was what, 70 years ago?
Yeah. Well, no, the polio vaccine was like 100 years ago. Remember, 1980 isn't 10 years ago.
Fight me.
Koala says they changed herd immunity as well. Yes, they did.
John
says the dictionaries have all been taken over by the woke and are now just propaganda.
Yes.
There's no lie.
The latest, the two not Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccines.
Merck.
Because
Moderna and Pfizer.
Because they use the
RNA.
Yeah, the RNA or something like that.
mRNA
wouldn't meet the old definition either.
RNA.
That's why they changed. That's why they changed the definition, because you couldn't.
Oh, that's interesting. Steph says they changed the definition on immunity September the 1st.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, that was right after the Israeli study came out.
The one that said that multiple booster shots isn't going to help.
It wasn't doing any good.
Yeah. Raptor says, 1984, I say again, was not a friggin' instruction manual.
No kidding, right?
Polio vaccines are from the 50, 70 years ago. You don't have to remind me, Stanford. I took them.
Really? Polio was only 70 years ago?
Well, that's when they stopped using the live vaccine. They came up with the
sugar cube.
The sugar cube one.
Oh, okay.
And because the live vaccine was actually in a minority cases giving them a full blown polio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like the flu shot the Army gave me the flu.
Yeah.
I didn't take the first one, But I've taken a flu shot ever since, and I think they probably used a weakened live virus in the first one, because everyone I've talked to said taking the first flu shot
sick on a friggin'
was
dog.
the worst case of flu they ever had.
I quit taking flu vaccines because every time I took the damn thing, I got sick for 3 or 4 days.
Oh no, yeah, 5 to 7 days. Every year in the Army, they made me take the flu vaccine. I was down for a week.
I've been ever since I've got diabetic. I've taken the flu vaccine every year. Never had an issue.
I'm sorry, Koala.
What?
Apparently, YouTube is freaking out and keeps reloading on us.
Oh,
well, we'll do the best we can with what we got.
Oh yeah, we've triggered the algorithms.
yes.
I've got 2.
Oh, we said the C word, and we said the V word,
and the I word.
And the I word.
No, we did not say ivermectin.
No, we said immunization.
Yeah. True.
I've got two requests.
Okay.
One, Cooking with Lord Humongous is up to 50 subscribers. I'd like to see that push over 100. So if you're on my Facebook and you see the Cooking with Lord Humongous videos, and he is over the top,
Yes.
It ain't work safe. Hell, it's not safe for hamsters. But it's funny, and he actually makes good food.
Yeah. Have eye bleach ready.
I have a lot of eye bleach ready. Although he's updated his outfit, it's not nearly as bad.
Yeah. He actually was wearing underwear this time.
Yeah. It's not nearly as bad.
That'll cut down on the hairs in the food.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
John says Joe Rogan is suing CNN about lying about it. Yes.
Oh, good. CNN's having a bad time with their lawsuits.
Yeah.
Didn't they lose big on the
Yeah.
The
with
kid, the high school
kids,
kid.
yeah. But
Well, okay. The nice thing about that was the kid was from a state that was against libel. And,
Yes.
so they filed it in his home state, and CNN was like, "Oh crap! It means it's not in Georgia that we're having to fight this."
Yeah. Yeah, Josh, none of us is right. We just,
No. Well, the thing
what you
is,
see is what you get with us.
what y'all don't realize is how bad the atomic nerds are going to freak out when they get popular.
Somebody did a study, and they figured out how many followers you have before something goes viral.
Yeah.
If you hit that point, I think it's in the low 5 figures.
I want
Like 10, 12,000.
I want to see the nerds freak out, because they'll really lose their if they become popular.
Okay, here's what happens with the
I want to
YouTube
see the
cooking
same thing
shows.
happen to them that happens to Travis.
Oh yeah.
The YouTube cooking shows go through this, slow build, then they go viral,
Mhm.
and then they start doing better and better stuff. The production value goes up, and then Food Network buys the show. I want to see Lord Humongous.
I want to see Lord Humongous in doing a season of Chopped or Iron Chef or.
No, I want him on Chopped as one of the judges.
Oh, that's even better.
Yes.
That's even better.
RK says lunch today is pork cracklings in the stream. Oh boy.
Or what is the one with Gordon Ramsay? Master Chef.
Master Chef, yes.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay and Lord Humongous. There will be contestants needing therapy after that's
Now
done.
all it would be is beep, 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 beep.
There will be contestants needing therapy.
Yeah.
The final show where it's just him and Ramsey.
Shark attacking some poor.
That is a pay-per-view event. I'm telling you.
This week on Iron Chef, post-apocalypse.
Oh.
Good one, Jesse.
And the other thing, I've got a guest blog going up on Sarah Hoyt's, according to Hoyt's blog. If y'all could take a look at it. I don't know when it'll go up. I sent it to her yesterday, so I have no idea when it'll go up. But
3 p.m. bacon and French toast. Baked chicken, steamed veggies, and rice. Yeah. Y'all are eating better than we are.
James May from Top Gear.
Yeah.
Does a British version of a cooking show on YouTube.
oh god.
And he did the Heinz beans. It's my can of Heinz beans. This is British Heinz beans. Better than homemade. And it was, these are hilarious.
Yeah.
What really makes me giggle is, do y'all watch the Great British Bake Off?
No, God, yeah.
No.
Religiously.
um,
I mean, kneeling with my hands together.
Lord Humongous at the Great British Bake Off.
Okay. The funny thing about the Great British Bake Off is if there's any kind of negative conflict, they won't show it.
Right.
One of the first seasons, one of the guys, a lady got confused and took his meringue, and so he pulled hers out, and he was just like, threw it in the trash, and started over. And they would not show him pulling because they cut that up because they didn't want that kind of content.
I have this mental image of Great British Bake Off. This is the Great British Bake Off with Lord Humongous.
Yes.
Cut to advert.
Yeah.
Here's the first contestant. Lord Humongous tries. Cut to advert.
Yeah. that's going to be it. Like, we can't show any of this.
They're eating better than we are.
Oh, I know.
Steph's had a brisket.
I had a pork chop and some potato salad. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Don's having roast beef sandwiches with mozzarella and baby spinach.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty good.
Ham steak, New England style molasses baked beans, and brown bread.
There's still some rocks left over.
Sarah Singleton says he's titled. Does that give him an advantage? Possibly.
He took that title by force of arms, I think.
Yeah.
Well, if you buy that square foot in Scotland,
At that point, I have one. I actually have one. I told
you're the laird of the manure.
I'm a laird of, I forget what it is. I told Rita I was actually a papered laird. She said, whatever, and I showed her the paperwork. My little
Trader
sister.
Joe's fried chicken and rice.
Trader Joe's does fried chicken?
That's kind of shocking.
Chicken fried rice and
Chicken fried. Yeah, it's just Trader Joe's. That would be kind of.
Does anybody know about the progress of HEB moving up here? Because I really want HEB.
That'll be interesting if they ever do. They're expanding very, very, very slowly.
Yeah. Well, they're expanding smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see HEB and Waffle House.
Yeah, I don't get why Waffle House isn't here because it's around. You go to Lawton, there's a Waffle House.
Amarillo's got 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean it's just they're all around us.
Hell, I saw one at Denton when we were coming out of Denton. One on the right of 380. There's a Waffle House. It's like, and I know that there's a couple places in Wichita that had to be a Waffle House at one time.
Yeah.
It's got the Waffle House style building.
Yeah.
So it had to be a Waffle House at one time, but not anymore.
Don says he got the title because he declared it while everybody was still blinded by the initial revelation of his outfit. Point.
That ain't no lie.
Did he polish that calendar to a high sheen? Yes, he did.
It's not the calendar. Oh God.
Yeah, the thing is, Waffle Houses are all around us, but we're in this kind of.
We're in a Waffle House negative zone.
Yeah, and I wonder if that wasn't because the guy who would open up chain restaurants and then not pay his property taxes.
Point.
Or if he's the one that had the.
RK says Hydroxes are now back in production. Ooh.
Hydrox cookies?
Yes.
Ooh, cheap Oreos.
Cheap Oreos.
No, they're better than Oreos.
Well, they do predate Oreos.
I will give them that
they're a better cookie all the way around.
Their cream they have more
cream to the cream.
Cream in the center of the cookie than because I've noticed that the cream dot in the Oreos is getting progressively
It's getting smaller and smaller, isn't
it?
Well, even when Oreos had a decent amount of cream, I was the kid that I had it down to size twisting the Oreos so that one cookie would be clean and all the cream, and I'd get 2 of them smushed them together.
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna get cream, by God, I want some cream on my Oreos.
It's almost like the double stuffed Oreos are now what the regular Oreos should be.
No kidding.
This is all because of that goddamn metric system. The fun size candy bars, they were
used to be an inch.
Yeah. Well, okay. First off, I want to meet the team of scientists and engineers that quantified fun. This is 1 unit of fun.
Well,
and then they made the candy bar the
1 unit of fun.
1 unit of fun, and then they went metric, and it got smaller.
Well, I know ice cream has here recently, within the last 10 years, pulled a sneaky, and you actually get less ice cream than you used to, but for the same price.
Oh yeah, well that's everything.
Toilet paper?
Huh?
Rita is wrapped on the axle about toilet paper.
When I was in Angola,
chips.
Yeah,
I got a bag of chips. It was the same size as the old bag,
Most
single serve. That son of a bitch had 12. I counted them. 12 total potato chips.
He was so mad. He's so mad he counted the potato chips.
No. I was in Angola. The toilet rolls were the same size as our toilet rolls, except they rolled them way looser.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was, if you compress them down, they were probably like a third, but it was just,
Rita actually measured individual squares of new toilet paper and old toilet paper, and she's outraged.
Oh, Koala says we're up to 15 resets. Nah, sorry about that.
it's not on our end. It's
Got a lot of inflation. The currency and the snack bags both. Yeah.
In West Africa, we used to get Fritos.
Yeah, I've also eaten Tom's cooking, and he is that good at cooking.
Tom is a fantastic. He had some issues with steaks early on.
Yeah.
Well,
but not anymore.
he was cooking 25 of them at a time.
No, that's no excuse.
But he's gotten much better. And boy, he can break down a carcass. But anyway, in West Africa, one of the reasons I loathe corn chips is we used to get Fritos in the tin.
Yeah, they smell like fermented cheese and
Yeah.
gas.
Well, not only that, but in the 70s, the old Frito tin was a pop top.
Yeah.
And when you popped it and opened it, it left a sharp ring.
Yeah.
And
So you cut your finger.
I cut my wrist a couple of times because it was, ow. But they were always stale.
Guys, don't let him fool you. He was emo back then.
I was emo before emo was cool. Anyway,
I just want to feel. Okay.
I want somebody else to never
The
mind.
dime candy. Yeah, Sanford, you're right. The dime candy bar that we used to get as kids is now the size of the king size today.
Oh, anyway, back to
It's
Fritos.
$3.
Yeah, well, and okay. Does anybody remember the Brock's candy paradise?
Yeah.
Now it's pink and white or purple and white, and it was these bins of loose candies, and and there was a scale, and you got
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like a
that's the
nickel a pound or something.
The,
When did those disappear?
remember the licorice combinations?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, my mom, because they had those bins. Because when my mom hosted the bridge night, which rolled around every 4 weeks, that's why I love black licorice.
I love black licorice.
I can't stand that.
Because that was the only candy nobody would eat at the
For a reason.
I can't eat much of it, but I
At
love
bridge
black.
night, they do all the other licorice, but not the black licorice.
But the Brock's, I've always wondered if the Brock's, if they took out those lovely bins because of inflation, or the fact that every kid in the store was stealing them blind.
Well, the last one I remember seeing was in a commissary.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And that was a couple of years ago.
Every private going by was stealing them blind.
Well, yeah, you just put your hand underneath, push a little bit, grab a couple.
No, this was you reached into the bin with a scoop.
Oh
These
yeah,
were Brock's.
yeah. No, I was thinking of the one where it was a hopper and you pulled out and it just kind of felt like a.
This was bins that were originally one kind of wrapped candy here, second kind. They always
I've
bound
got
up
them at Atwood's.
in the bins.
Yeah,
Not
Really?
rocks, though.
I don't know. There's
I need to go back by Atwood's.
saltwater taffy in there. I know.
Oh, I
and
love
there's
Saltwater taffy and black licorice are my favorite
do
candies.
you know why it's called saltwater taffy?
Not a clue.
Because the taffy was a staple of one of the East Coast cities, like Jersey,
What was
Oh, Atlantic City?
Atlantic City, right? And they had a huge storm, right?
Oh,
Now the candy didn't get contaminated. They just started calling it saltwater
oh,
taffy.
well, there you go. That's smart.
Yeah, so far there's three of us that hate black licorice. So you can have all that shit you want.
I love black licorice.
Not the Twizzlers black
No,
licorice stuff.
that's not black licorice. That's some Chinese knockoff of black licorice.
Exactly. Like some extruded form of sadness.
Sadness and discontent.
Yeah, the candy store in Old Town Sac. Yes, sold it by weight,
Oh yeah.
That was the Brock's.
and
That's
they
it.
literally. Because I've been there, I took the kids there. That was a friggin' mistake. 4-day damn sugar high.
Whee!
But they have 55-gallon barrels, and they got about 100 of them,
Oh wow!
all with different candies in them.
Yeah,
Grab,
I remember those.
grab a ton of the ankles, hang them over that. Just
Yeah.
listen to the gobbling sounds.
Well, there was a confectioner in a small town just outside of the town I grew up in that she did handmade chocolates,
Oh,
but it was a huge candy store, and they had those big pickle barrels full of candy.
there's actually a Chocolatier opened up in Ichipaw.
There's 5 of us now that hate that licorice shit.
Well, y'all have something.
More for me.
Yeah, you can have all of it you want.
There's a Fufu Chocolatier that's opened up in Ichipaw, and for some other reason I'll find it. And
Yeah,
that's gonna be bad.
Okay, I didn't even know they made Colt's Foot anymore.
The hell's Coltsfoot?
Candy, Whorehound and Colt's Foot candy.
Oh, Whorehound.
Colt's Foot.
Oh, okay.
My granddad used to stuff me full of Whorehound.
I remember the Ben Franklin's 5 and Dime at the local strip mall when I was a little kid had the candy sticks, and it was like apple and strawberry.
Oh, yeah.
They were a nickel a piece.
Sarah, it's not candles, it's candy.
And that's the only place you can get those now is Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel has a lot of the old stuff.
Yes.
Cracker Barrel and Atwoods, which I need to go back. I haven't been to Atwoods in a couple of months.
Well, Atwoods last time I was there, literally had 0 jars of pickled eggs.
I'll tell you who makes good. You want in Maine, you want saltwater taffy. Go to LLB.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's funny, but it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that store is an interesting place.
LLB?
Yeah, open 24 hours a day.
Well, it's
Because when you need to have your duck boots, you need to have your duck boots.
other than the fact that it's east of Mississippi and north of the Mason-Dixon line, I suppose Maine's an okay place.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that territory you marked off is kind of enemy territory now, isn't it?
Has been for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear that the White House quietly withdrawn their pick for the head of ATF? Because apparently he was.
Chipman is gone.
Yeah. He was apparently too radical.
He was too radical for even the leftist.
Wonder who they'll replace him with.
Probably somebody who has fewer fuck-ups in his past.
Well, at least not public fuck-ups.
Right, exactly.
Won't take safari pictures over the smoking. Okay,
Yeah.
we're getting off into the bad stuff again.
Yeah.
No. Listen, if he takes a safari picture of the smoking body of an elephant, fine with that. Because I know one village ate good for a night.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
That's something people used to, when Cecil Lion got whacked, I'll guarantee you nobody outside or inside Zimbabwe knew who the fuck Cecil Lion was.
Yeah.
That's just a lion. But people don't understand. When you whack an elephant or a giraffe or a hippo, you better get out of the way because there'll be a whole bunch of natives with machetes show up and they're going to eat good.
They're so
Joel says Lord Humongous needs to do a fried rice video so they get the Uncle Roger reaction.
I love Uncle Roger.
Oh, yes.
But the hunts are so controlled now that you buy your license, so you get the one elephant, and they've assigned that to a village already, so they're there and waiting.
Used to be that the gun bearers, because when you went on safari, there was a retinue. You had a whole bunch of natives following you for no good reason or some good, but
food.
Well, yeah. And when you brought down the elephant, if you turned around, they were crawled inside the carcass and were eating or chopping their way out.
Yeah. All the guys on the outside were chopping
their way in.
Well, people don't realize that the original glamping was a safari in Africa.
No kidding, right?
There was the 3 white people and 80 porters
making sure everything was comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. After the administration is incapable of not doubling down, they double down.
Well, actually,
JimJim and Mexican candy eats. Yeah, no.
In order to double down, you have to remember that you singled down the first time.
Well, they did that with Austin, and I'm gonna get into the military side for a minute. As soon as Austin took over, SecDef, he basically canceled all of the advisory board's access to any kind of material from the Naval Academy, Coast Guard Academy, Air Force Academy, Annapolis, anywhere else.
Okay.
Now they're firing all the previous Trump appointees.
18 of them as of 8 o'clock this morning.
Right. Well, first they said you should resign.
Yeah.
And then one of them came back and said, based upon your performance the past few weeks, you should be resigning.
Kellyanne Conway sent an open letter.
So now they are terminating them as of today.
This is sort of unprecedented.
And this includes General Jack Keane, a 4-star general.
Because normally they just let them, because they're 3-year terms.
Yeah.
Normally they just let them
time out. Yeah.
Right. But because apparently they're so dead
Well,
set
this-
on creating.
And I'm gonna get off on politics, which I said we wouldn't do. This is something. This is another one of the things where the left side, the leftists, deploy the nuclear option and giggle about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then when it gets deployed on them after they set the precedent, they squall like toddlers.
Yeah.
Because the next Republican president that gets in
Yeah.
and cancels all of Biden's appointees, the left side of the house is going to scream bloody blue murder.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
But it won't be Biden. It'll be the heckler in chief. The
Yeah.
cackler in chief.
Cackler in chief.
Yeah.
Heckler in chief. I love that.
Yeah, it's not getting better, folks. It's getting uglier.
And we're back off on depressing people again.
Well,
Yes.
and I do have to say one thing here, and I don't really give a shit, but this weekend is the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
Yes, it is.
2 days from now.
2 days. So if you don't do anything else this weekend, at least take a minute and remember all those folks.
Yeah.
If you're,
I'm an old fart. I was alive when Kennedy was killed. I was old enough to remember that. The space race, first man on the moon,
I remember that.
I remember that.
Vietnam, the Iranian hostage crisis, which we're trying to fucking repeat now.
Only
I was in high
scaled
school.
up.
I was in high school for that.
Challenger.
I remember
I was in
that.
the Middle East for that.
I was watching it in the hangar.
Yeah.
At Fort Campbell.
So I've been, seeing a lot of stuff in my life. Not as much as my parents did, because they literally went from first flight to man on the moon. But in the, shall we say, vaccination and immunization against polio, smallpox.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Mumps, measles.
The entire school for half a day it was just an assembly. You'd
Yeah.
line up and assembly line go through, and
Yeah.
everybody got vaccinated.
But just take a minute and remember those folks. They didn't die by choice. They died. Some of them died actively involved in
The first
the
fighters against
fights.
the first fighters against the 9/11 people were the 92
Flight 93.
Flight 93.
Yeah.
They were the first fighters, the first warriors in that war.
In the
Yep.
global war on terror.
The other thing is, if you have a flag on a pole, please fly it at half-mast.
Yeah.
I know the administration's not going to think of that.
While I was searching for the capsule for Challenger, so I got a little different memory than most people do of that one. And then Columbia, when it ended up on our family farm.
I remember seeing the contrails of the wreckage flying over Fort Worth. Well, they weren't over Fort Worth, but they were high enough up that I could
Yeah.
see them from Fort Worth.
Yeah, we can see them from here.
Yeah. So yeah, not to be Debbie Downer, but just take a moment and remember those people this weekend. And gear up for what's coming.
Mm.
Don't know what it's going to be, but
It's
passivity is not going to be a workable option.
I don't think waiting it out is gonna work this time.
No,
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and drive on.
no, I can't remember Inchon. I was 2 years old, Sanford.
51.
He remembers the first Dunkirk. That's why the Afghanistan things give him nightmares. He remembers the first Dunkirk.
Just getting PTSD flashbacks from Dunkirk. Well, yeah. The thing about Dunkirk is there were not enough women or minorities represented in it.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Wasn't there something on the Dunkirk movie that?
Yes, that's exactly it.
That
Yeah.
just,
They said there were not enough women or minorities represented in that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, I remember a very quiet on Saving Private Ryan. There was this was the early days of social media, and this is a very quiet initial start at being outraged there weren't any minorities in the D-Day landing.
Yeah.
And it got smashed down pretty hard.
yeah.
Well, that's because
They didn't
who
have
integrated the military?
Truman or Wilson.
Truman. After World War II.
Damn sure it wasn't Wilson.
Yeah.
And of course, social media hadn't given the idiots their voice yet.
Yeah.
So you got social media is a bunch of, pardon my French, folks, fucktards in a basement. It's 8 fucktards in a basement looking for a reason to be insulted.
It's a bunch of fucktards being monitored by idiots.
Well, and now AWS is getting into the game.
Amazon Web Service.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to go downhill fast.
I didn't realize Amazon Web Service hosts 40% of the world's internet content.
And
they host GoDaddy.
Yeah.
And they're owned by China.
And they're putting together their own team
to review,
monitor content.
To review all content to make sure it matches their terms of service.
Yeah. So.
Which is nebulous at best.
Yeah.
If you have somebody who monitors 40% of your speech, censoring your speech, at what point does it stop becoming a private company and start becoming a utility?
That's a damn fine question.
The other thing is that Google got caught indoctrinating their employees.
Yeah, and it says, are they going to make sure the porn is sufficiently diverse?
Llama porn.
It's me and that guy in Turkey right now. The two of us. I tell you, my production value far exceeds his.
No.
I'm telling you,
I knew that was coming.
You get the professional makeup artists, you get the professional lighting guys, you get the good grips.
Didn't you catch him sneaking alpacas into his llama porn at one time?
Listen, we're not going to get into the interracial stuff.
I have chicken issues, by the way.
I've been watching that on Facebook.
The next door neighbors, for reasons known only themselves, decided they wanted to raise chickens.
The PLF has decided that your yard has now
become... the Poultry Liberation Front has annexed my yard. And apparently, the little town we live in does not have a no poultry law in the book.
First off, why are their fences so low that chickens can get over them?
There are no fences on that part.
Really?
Really.
So they're free range and they're chickens.
Yeah.
Or you've just gotten a fresh source of poultry.
Oh, hey, we're working on that. And the thing is okay, when I discovered that there were chickens next door, well, actually the dogs discovered there were chickens next door. And I had to take a slightly damp and ragged chicken back because
it'd been molested.
Is it bad I've actually named the chickens?
No, but because you've got great names for them.
Yes, there's
Biff Cluckerton.
Biff and Tad Cluckerton. Yes. Tatsumi Bakamoto is the Japanese longtail.
Yeah,
he was the one that Mochi was dragging backwards under the Morgan building. So I grabbed his chicken and I take him next door and said, "Chickens?" And they said, "Oh, we want eggs."
The thing is, if they don't have a chicken coop,
they have a chicken coop,
and there's no fence.
No, there's a fence with squares that big.
Yeah,
and it's waist high on meat.
Twice the size that a fox needs to get in.
Well,
you know, because foxes love urban settings,
and we have a gray fox in our neighborhood.
He's gonna find those chickens. That'd be into that.
They've got 6. They start out with 12.
So the fox is it's like a drive-through for him.
I had nothing.
I'll take the bucket with the.
But what they've got left, the 6 they've got left, they've got 4. Count them, 4 roosters and 2 hens.
Yeah,
they're getting a lot of eggs up.
Yeah, the chickens.
There are a number of comments going on in the chat.
Oh God.
Sarah says Chewy's going to get fat.
Yeah, no kidding.
Farm Girl says, I'd say something and write a nice note. Dear Sir, Madam, if your livestock continues to trespass, I'll gladly find room for it in my freezer. I have informed the next door neighbors that if Task Force Chweenie manages to dispatch a chicken on Task Force territory, it sucks to be them.
Well, you've documented on Facebook that the chickens have no problem getting outside of their pen.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Therefore, if they get killed,
well, trash pandas will take them. Because they'll eat a chicken in a heartbeat.
Some they start out with 12.
Yeah.
They're down to 6.
They'll be the fox. He'll drive through. There'll be three trash cans in the car with him. I'm like a bucket of original recipe.
John, I'm betting these people are so dumb they didn't realize they were getting roosters.
I don't know, but they're okay. Biff Cluckington is the largest damn chicken I've ever seen. He's the biggest chicken I've ever seen.
Yeah, the thing is, the variety of chickens they got, I don't think they were looking to breed. Because that's what you do, because chickens produce for a few years, then they get old.
Yeah. And then they wind up in a frying pan.
Exactly. And I don't think they were planning on that.
But, okay, you've got Tatsumi Bakamoto is this little bitty, long-tailed Japanese rooster. And he's the boss. Biff Cluckerton is twice the size of Tatsumi. And he is the biggest chicken in more ways than one I've ever seen. Because one, he's large, and two, if Chewie sticks his nose out the door, Biff is gone. But Biff also has a baritone morning salute to the sun. And the other day, he was on the window unit and decided to greet the morning sun. And my little honey sat up straight in bed and went, "What is that?"
You don't say the window unit. They were on your window
Yes,
unit.
they were.
Yes, they were literally inches away from your window.
Yes. And Rita sleeps on that side of the room. And when he cut loose, she sat straight upright in bed, not even really awake yet. It's like, I'm fixing to have a chicken.
So, the Ruger Mark IVs are apparently very easy to suppress.
Yes, they come with integrally threaded barrels.
Yes.
I have a suppressor if you need to borrow one.
I've got a small box of subsonics.
Well, after he did that, I bounded out to the back porch and got the Browning BL-22 and a box of Aguila Super Calibris, because the Browning loves Super Calibris. I went back in. Sweetheart, don't kill the chickens. We don't want to start a war. Damn it.
I'm telling you, I've got those subsonics because I was seeing what my Ruger does the best. Like 8 different varieties, right? And
I've got 5,000 rounds of Super Calibri because our local grocery store was selling them.
Yeah.
And
dirt cheap. Yeah.
Dirt cheap. And it's like, I approve of this.
yeah, well,
And Josh says, Ian, just remember, Chewie eats one. Feather parts are nasty.
yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Chewie learned on the Blue Jays to pluck the birds before he eats them. So
Yeah, I know.
I'm telling you, integrally suppressed 22 with subsonics,
with
and the neighbors would never know.
that little lever action 22 from Browning with the Super Calibris, all you hear is a click when the hammer falls.
Yeah.
And out to about 15 feet, that 20 grain Calibri is right. I mean, I can. It's like
Dot the I with
I can dot a chicken's eye at about 10 feet.
Yeah.
And
That's a hint, by the way.
just follow the 3 S's.
Yeah.
Shoot, saute, and shut up.
Okay, for
No.
chickens, yes. Normally,
You're gonna need
shovel
more
and
than
shut up.
saute. You're gonna have to soak that puppy.
No kidding.
Those
Biff is
tough little
huge.
suckers.
And apparently the roosters are always, I know in pheasants the roosters are always tough. I didn't realize in chickens are always tough.
Oh yeah, roasters are tough. They're better in a stew than they are fried.
I'm willing to experiment.
because they probably spend less time sitting on a nest. Hens spend more time not moving.
Well,
Yeah, Chewie is a scary, smart little hairball.
yeah, he is. Well, the thing of it is, given the state of my yard, they're not sitting on nests very long.
Well, I don't think those 2 hens have time because they're running from 4 roosters.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, Sarah, they pretty much don't know jack anything about chickens or caring for them or anything else.
These aren't transplants from California, are they?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The female over there apparently comes from a family been in the area for a while.
Coca-Van for roosters.
I'm willing to
there you
experiment.
go.
I'm willing to experiment.
Sarah Singleton says, ask Lord Humongous to make Coca-Van. That basically was what he made the other day.
Or the 20 garlic chicken.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
close, but not.
Close.
That 20 garlic chicken. I've had his 20 garlic chicken. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's good.
That's a variation on What's his name's Death by Garlic?
Ray's.
Ray's, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is our friend Ray Carter.
Yeah.
God bless him. I miss him.
Had a recipe for chicken soup from hell.
Yeah.
And the first time he sent it to me, because whenever you got sick, Mama Ray would send you, here's a recipe, make the and eat this. It's really good. But we are a garlic household. Now, one time we had 5 or 6 bulbs of garlic, plus one of those jugs of garlic you get from Sam's.
Yeah, the industrial size.
Yes.
Pre-minced garlic.
And Ray sent me that because Rita was feeling sick, and Ray sent me the garlic chicken soup from hell recipe. I went, this sounds good. And I walked in to the kitchen and started scrolling through it and walked back out and said, baby, we don't have enough garlic for this recipe. And we didn't. I mean, the main ingredient in Ray's chicken soup was garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you took entire bulbs.
Yeah.
And you just cut it in half. Didn't strip anything else off and threw that in.
Well, it's like
Paper and all.
you took 5 bulbs and did that, and then you did spoons of minced garlic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally garlic soup with some chicken added to it. It was really good, but it is heavy on the garlic.
Yeah. You were sweating garlic for 3 days.
I'm drooling so bad right now.
No kidding.
I haven't made garlic infused olive oil. I should make some.
Yeah.
It's how early were you up this morning?
About 7.
About right. Did you go outside?
Yeah.
Fall is in the air.
Yep. We actually, I saw 2 trees that had started turning.
Yeah, I let Obi out at exactly 7:02.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are coming up on my favorite time of the year, tamale and soup.
Yeah.
Tamales and soup.
Yeah. We just
Who
need
we
to
gonna
find
have
our
tamales
deal
for this
tamales.
Do we go back to Chewy's for the tamales, or do we try to get some drug deal?
Yes.
Both.
Both. Okay, the guy that did the drug deal down at the liquor store on Old Tweety's, his card is on the fridge, so we know where to call.
You got a card from the drug dealer tamale guy?
Yeah. Well, I got the
Wow.
last 18, dozen and a half. I got the last
Texas,
dozen and a half. They had.
our tamale dealers provide you with a business card. I'm planning whenever that the lady at the at work sweeps through and asking people if they want tamales. I'm planning on getting a load every time she asks.
Yeah.
Because if I remember right, y'all like those tamales pretty much.
Oh, yeah. They were a little
And-
small, but they were good.
Chewy Steaks needs a 3-day
Yeah.
lead time.
And
Yes, folks. We literally map out where the good tamales are. It's like a treasure map. Over here be dragons.
there's a
Yeah, Joel, the other secret ingredient in good chicken is a black radish. Yeah.
the black what?
Radish.
There's a black radish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red radishes, black radishes.
Yeah.
They give it definitely a good taste.
I'm weird. But
Yes,
well,
we know.
we stop there. However,
RK says, I only buy drug deal tamales from Abuelas. No, guys.
well,
No,
so
our drug deal guy, his wife does all the cooking and he does all the selling.
Right. And
also these
tamales
days,
are labor intensive.
yeah,
So
these
if
days,
she's out selling them, that means she didn't
Stop
take
making them.
Yeah.
these days, Granny grabs a handy grandson and tells him to get his ass in gear and go sell these.
Yeah.
Because it's hot and she don't want them. There's a commercial tamale place, tamale factory.
There's a tamale factory in town. Yeah. If you go to the grocery store, in the frozen food section, you find those tamales. That's where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So they're about the thickness of a Sharpie.
Commercial tamales are just wrong.
Yeah, they're not the best. Well, plus they have to figure out how to. I mean,
some of them are fairly good. I mean,
So, but
yeah,
the
but
Zawali tamales, I'll eat those all.
I don't count Zawali tamales as commercial.
Yeah.
it's just either you have an entire army of abuelas folding these things, or you figured out some extrusion method.
Yeah, and it just that doesn't. If it's not done by somebody's grandmother in her kitchen, it's not a good tamale.
Yes.
Yeah. Koala says, we wait for the abuela to drive up to the car and call out. Tell them the cheese. Yeah.
Oh, soup, stews, and tamales. It's a
Yes.
good time
Yeah.
of year. However,
And we have plenty of hatch chilies this time.
I will be making green chili stew.
You just have to remember to pull them out of the freezer in time.
Did you get the spiky or the mild?
Supposedly the mild. We'll see.
Well, it's really wet this year, so it's probably all kind of mild.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's how it is. I mean, if you get a dry year, all the peppers are pepperier.
If you stress them with dry, they get hotter.
Yeah,
Marque says there's a family-owned tamale company in San Antonio that has a year-long back order list.
Oh
I can believe
yeah.
it. I
Oh
believe
yeah.
because they're hand making them.
And they're poker only good.
Yeah.
Oh.
I want 42 dozen. That'll be 2 years. Okay, I'll wait.
Exactly.
Cash or credit card.
Yeah, exactly.
In kind of sad news, but also fun, we went down toward north of the Metro Mess on Tuesday. The reason we weren't here, we were
Helping a friend out.
helping a friend out by evaluating gun collection, and I may have drooled on myself.
I realize that as far as collecting goes, I'm a piker.
No kidding.
Yes. I thought I had a good collection of rifles. Of course, he's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over Colts.
Colts, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's about an equal number of Colts and Smiths, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just because that first row and a half.
Yeah, row and a half of 1911s and Commanders.
And the fact that he has one with a letter of provenance
Yes, from Texas Ranger.
From the Texas Rangers, yeah.
Letter of provenance signed in front of the county clerk.
Yes.
Signed and notarized.
Signed and notarized
He
letter of
was
provenance.
serious about that.
Yes.
Well, mainly because of him. Great.
Oh, I know. Still, I mean, if you have anything with provenance that a Ranger
Yeah.
carried it,
Yeah.
there are Ranger groupies that will dot their cupcakes and whip out their checkbooks. However, I got to fondle a 1928 Thompson submachine gun, and fortunately, 4 hours later, everything was okay. But I thought I might have to see a doctor because wow, damn.
Plus, he has all the parts to convert it to a 1921. So he's got the Blish device and all that other stuff.
Well, also
which
he's
is really
got
cool.
3 drums for it.
Yes.
Well, it is actually a true 1928.
Yeah. No, it's Mark 1928, but it's just cool that he went and found the parts.
Yeah. Well, he was a bit of a geek.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
He was.
Ah, yes.
He's got a M2 that's conversion from an M1.
No, it's not.
No, the receiver said M1.
Yeah, it did. The receiver stamped in one.
Yeah, the receiver stamped M1.
I'm not sure that's not correct.
Well, remembering
be.
during Korea, they converted a whole bunch at unit level.
Yeah.
I'm
and
suspecting
literally
this
it's just-
might be a Korea
Inland was
conversion.
one of the companies that made, from the get-go, made the M2s.
Right, and they would have to have marked them M2.
I'm not sure they did. Because
Sure.
the one that I saw in Texarkana years ago that was illegal was marked M1.
The only difference between an
It had
M1
the
and M2.
giggle switch, though.
Yeah, but the only difference between the M1 and the M2 is stuff that you could literally put in the rifle on the side of the receiver, and that converted it. You had to
Like
cut out the wood.
That's like we were talking in Korea at the unit level. A lot of M1s were converted into 2s at the unit level. That might be one of them.
It could be,
Yeah.
or listen, they could have just been using their stock of M1 carbine receivers from World War II, and just,
No kidding.
RK, that really sucks.
Mhm.
She had to sell her matching numbers 1942 Luger.
matching kits.
How much? No, I don't want to know.
No.
Okay, a shooter Luger generally runs anywhere from just a couple years ago from 900 to 1200 is what I was seeing for shooters. That means not number matching, probably aftermarket magazines, but it's shot, right? On numbers matching, you could probably start at $2,000 and start going up from there.
At least.
Now, if you want to see what this what this 45 looked like, go look up a gentleman named Cole Agee.
AGEE. Glorious, glorious engraver.
Yeah. Didn't do many, but the interesting set of provenance on this one was it was one of 3 guns that AG did at the same time, 2 of which went to Homer Garrison, who was the colonel of the Texas Rangers. Those were both single actions.
And they're in the Ranger.
They are in the Ranger Museum
Yeah.
today.
Mhm.
They were done with a cattle brand engraving. AG did not engrave any of his 1911s with cattle brand.
Just straightforward.
Straight full engraving, but it is literally a full engraved.
Every bit except the
Slide
roll mark.
receiver,
Yeah.
the whole thing, yeah.
Except the roll mark.
Every visible bit.
And then they blinged the hell out of the original pearl grips. Holy gods, those are pearl or blinged.
They're
No,
not
they,
pearl.
they
though,
weren't pearl, they were ivory.
because remember,
The ones in the bag that originally came with it are pearl.
They're ivory.
yeah, they're ivory.
They're
The
ivory.
cattle head, the longhorn head.
Yes,
Yeah, you got to remember that
they're ivory.
patent said anybody to carry a pearl.
Well,
the people that carry a pearl handle.
Rangers didn't give a shit what patent said.
No, those were both ivory.
Both ivory.
Yeah.
For some reason I was sure that the longhorn head with the red eyes and gold leaf was
The
pearl.
rubies. That
Was
wasn't
pearl.
gold leaf. That was a little thicker than that.
Gold inlay.
Either way, the longhorn horns were done in
Yeah.
gold and the eyes were in a red jewel.
Called a ruby.
And
What cracked me up was the cactus.
why there's a cactus on there, I don't know.
I got.
Something tells me that Ranger was a Western.
I just
Well-
have this picture in my head of the engraver doing a tumbleweed and going, "Do you know what that is?" And everybody's like, "No, is that Mickey Mouse?" I'm like, okay, we're doing a cactus.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling folks, my grandfather's 41 single action army that he got from his granduncle came from Colt with that exact cattle or longhorn head in pearl.
Yeah.
And that I suspect, although I do not know, I suspect that was a factory ivory or pearl. I still think it was pearl. I don't know why. That they just embellished. I could be wrong.
Well, how long does Texas A&M have the Longhorn as the symbol?
They haven't.
Or who's got the Longhorn?
UT.
The
UT.
UT, I'm sorry. How long have they had that symbol?
I don't include.
Probably day one or day two.
Yeah, so I mean that very well been a.
But if it came from Colt, the cactus would have been on there because some guy in New England carved Western Longhorn. Hey, cactus belongs, and a saguaro cactus.
Oh, Sarah wants to break you. The tryst that resulted in death, the couple had no condom, so to prevent pregnancy, man used epoxy to seal the hole and died a couple of days later.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
I can imagine what he died of. That's for sure.
you broke him. Congratulations, Sarah.
Because she was probably saying, "Honey, you should probably go to the doctor." And he's like, "I can't do that. That's too embarrassing. I'd rather die." And he did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Something didn't explode at the height of the performance if he sealed off Mr. Happy. There's something should have exploded.
Well, it probably did internally.
yeah. The thing is, I would have assumed it would have backflowed first into the
Yeah,
into the processing plant. Let's call it.
processing plant. That's good. Why the hell would you? Well,
Didn't have a condom. Didn't want to get her pregnant.
I had a friend of mine, his younger brother got sick. This is when he was a kid, and they finally took him to the doctor. The doctor was going to use a borescope or whatever to look down, and he got about to here, and it was just shit. So literally, he was full of shit.
Flashback in the tube, yeah. At the very least, his bladder exploded. I remember
It wasn't bladder I was thinking of, but
I mean,
testes.
how far did he super glue it together? I mean, how much of
epoxy apparently.
how much of the? I mean, was it?
And
Like,
that gets hot when it's curing, and you can't apply it, so it's
they should have just used the bucket method.
Yeah.
They do it standing up. He's standing on a bucket, and when his eyes start to cross, she kicks the bucket out from underneath him.
Well, I do remember when I was running volunteer fire rescue, we had one where the wife had caught the hubby playing with the next door neighbor. So she super glued his wang to his leg. And we got a call on that one. And it was apparently rather interesting, and surgery was required to get it free.
Really? Because I would have thought a packet of Q-tips and some nail polish remover would have done it.
Apparently not. And then about 2 months later,
maybe she glued it way down, and he to the grocery store to get that stuff.
Well, about 2 months later, she apparently caught him again.
Because the first time didn't teach him anything.
And then she did super glue the hole closed. And that required an amputation. So he literally.
Epoxy gets hot when it cures.
Yes.
So he mixes up epoxy on, I guess, a square of tinfoil.
I'm assuming he didn't mix up a lot of it.
Have you ever tried to get a little out of the tubes?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the time.
Okay.
When we pro seal stuff, which is a type of epoxy.
He takes the matchstick and he stirs up the combination on the tinfoil, and he takes the matchstick and thinks, this needs to fix a problem.
Yeah.
No.
Applies it.
No. Wait now. Think about what they're planning to do. He was not thinking with a big head.
That's bloody well obvious.
Yeah.
Okay,
so he takes the stuff that's still liquid, applies it. I'm assuming, no, I'm not. It gets hot. It gets really hot because it gives off heat as it cures, and he's still.
Yes, watching Ian squirm is fun.
Rampant enough to keep going.
Yeah.
Hits the,
remember,
say, climax of the performance.
Remember, all the blood drained out of the big head and went to the little head.
Which got hot.
Yeah.
And the little head
and then
doesn't think very well.
Backblasted.
I'm assuming that he probably loaded up the toothpick and then inserted it in a ways just to make sure that he was perfectly sealed. So inch and a half.
No.
Did he make sure that he was standing at attention first and then seal it shut?
Yeah. Joel said he was not thinking with a little head either. No. Farm Girl says some people like pain. Maybe that made it better. Little head thought hot is good. Backblast area clear.
No, it wasn't clear. There were at least two privates hanging around, so to speak.
John says, I have seen worse and no, not talking about it.
It's just the next day.
Who the hell thinks this is a good idea?
The next day when he's sobered up and he can't pee, and his girlfriend's saying, you better go to the doctor, and he's saying, no, this is too embarrassing. I'd rather die.
Well,
that's
wish granted.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay.
Who the hell thinks this?
Andy, I'm looking at him in the next room rolled out like
yes, I'm getting up to go out. Let you out. Honest to God.
Christmas. Oh. You broke Ian. That's going to be rattling around in his head for the next 3 days.
Well, you could just rock me to sleep tonight. Why the hell would...
Raptor, we didn't start it. Sarah started it. We just finished it.
This is damn sure a Darwin Award nominee.
Yeah.
Because by God, he didn't breed.
Yeah.
Why the hell? Anyway,
Oh, thank you for sharing the misery, Sarah.
What misery?
She says, saw the headline, had to share the misery.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. How big a rock will it take to rock Ian to sleep tonight? Probably about a 4-pounder, Brian. Get a good running start, bounce it off his head.
Wake up! I'm going to be wake up in the middle of the night going, epoxy, epoxy.
Yes, Don. We do know people are dumb.
There's dumb, and then there's epoxy after happy dumb. That's an entire new level of stupid.
Al Sanford. She apparently some woman filled the other half's underwear with Wellwood glue, and apparently he had to miss work soaking his privates. And on that note, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time.
You are some sick, sick puppies. That's all I've got to say on that matter. Anyway,
pot.
well, I've never done anything involving epoxy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done a lot of stuff I'm not exactly proud of, but
Oh, God.
generally wasn't sexual in nature and damn sure didn't involve epoxy. Wow.
All right, folks. Y'all have a good weekend.
Be safe, guys.
Please remember those that died on 9/11 this
Please.
weekend.
Please stay away from the epoxy.
Yeah. Stay away from the epoxy. And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Be safe, guys.
We'll see you next week. Bye.